Nioh, here on G for G, Games for Gamers. I'm your host, Napalm Dawn. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some beginner tips and tricks that you can use to get basically associated to this game and kind of get a feel for it. Spirit, that's because my spirit is balls deep in the boss area, and I need to do some spirit farming so that I can go into the boss with a live him, because I can't fetch him. And I'm just going to go ahead and kill some mobs to build up my spirit. You will see my spirit in the upper left corner. So what I'm going to do is build up that meter by just farming some mobs over here. You can see now I'm, close to being halfway full. See, similar to, say, the Souls games and Bloodborne, when you go into the dream or your shrine or whatever, everything resets out in the world. Well, that is also true of Nioh. However, you do that by visiting the shrine. And the moment you go to the shrine, everything in the world resets. Now, that is, of course, both good and bad. It's kind of bad when you've made progress and then you visit a shrine for a particular reason and you're like, oh crap, I've just respawned everything. But you have to be able to use this in your favor. And farming is definitely one of the things that is in your favor. And you'll see me picking up a lot of drops on the ground, including whites, and there is a reason for that. Turning these in the next time I go to the shrine. Those dudes over there that look like they have the draftsman's ruler on their backs are very erratic, and they are kind of dicks. So, amrita farming is definitely one of the things you'll have to get used to early in the game. It is absolutely to your advantage to not venture too far from the shrine and just farm mobs that you are comfortable with. And just build up, level up, build up, level up until you realize that you are definitely getting stronger than the things that you are fighting. There is absolutely no shame in that or doing anything of the sort. So I was just kind of standing still over there hoping I was out of a dagger range, but unfortunately I'm not. So on to the next trick over here. Since we've got this guy pulled, find a weapon and a stance that you are extremely comfortable with. And for right now, for me, it is the high stance of this pile of bullshit right here. It is the high stance of the axe category. And the reason why is I just love the range and the power of it. And there's kind of an example of what you would do for amrita farming if you needed it. Also, you always want to make sure you go into a boss completely healthy. And since that guy took a little bit out of me, there's no reason for me to go into the boss slightly crippled. So anytime you know you are near a boss, you definitely want to make sure that you are going in full. Now, my spirit gauge is full, so I'm not going to be doing any farming on this one. I'm just going to be clearing the path, which means not aggroing him again. There are what are called one-shots in this game, and one-shots are demons that only die one time and then they never come back. An example of that would be if you look straight down that alleyway over there and see in the middle left there is that grayishy black smoke. That will spawn a one-shot demon that once it is killed, that will be it. It will never be up again. So once you feel you are strong enough, you can definitely take them on and they will get out of your way. A lot of them in this game you can find ways around, especially in the Burning Village part of the first mission. You can get around the majority of them and not have to deal with them. some of them, unfortunately, are stopgaps and are made to challenge you before you do something important, like get a manor key in order to proceed to the next area, or to get the stuff that was back over there. So, definitely be prepared for the fact that you will have to face some of these eventually. You want to keep yourself well stocked on whetstones and glue. Whetstones will, quote-unquote, heal your weapons, and glue will heal all your gear, and it doesn't for the gear that is equipped at the moment. If you find one that has dropped on the ground, but your inventory is full, use one, and then go ahead and pick it up. This way you don't waste them. You could always potentially just leave it on the ground and come back to it if needed, but the best thing to do is just use one right then and there. And, refresh your weapons and then pick it up. What I like to do when I am selling stuff at the shrine is that per category, I come across the ones that I know I want to sell, and then I mark them by hitting triangle. And then when I'm done with the category, I will sell a bunch. You always want to keep something relatively close to your current weapon, as powerful as you can get it. This way, in case that main weapon breaks, you have something on backup that isn't particularly crippled and can do, a reasonable, basically be a reasonable replacement for what you just had that potentially, broke down. So if you have a 200 damage weapon and you have a 190 damage weapon, don't sell the 190. Keep it around. The other thing you want to do is make sure you watch your weight, and no, that does not mean go to Jenny Craig. It means that you want to make sure that you are not overly burdened by weight. Some of the best things in the game are huge defensive multipliers like this Do Ronin that don't weigh that much. You'll see this is 91 and 4.4, and this is 43 and 5.4. So this is going to just be a little bit better than that one. The other thing you may want to get into is having a farming set and a boss set, aka a defense set. So there are certain things out here, like this one, you'll see it has amrita earn 3.6%. That is what I would call a farming set. But you'll notice this one over here has considerably more defense, even though it has the same weight. I'm not wearing it quite yet, because I consider this a farming set, and I consider this a boss set, or a tough battle set, basically. And the reason why I've returned to my Asian gift shop over here is that by selling these items, I have a chance for the game to give me elixirs over my current cap. So if my cap right now is 7, I can sell items and potentially get up to 9 or 10, which means I'm going into the boss in that much better of a condition. What I like to do when I sell, I look at a category, I see what I have equipped, I make note of the weight and the defense, and then I sell things that just don't really compete. So right now I'm at 4373. This weighs way more and has way less defense. So these are sells. Now I'm getting spirit stones. Unfortunately, I'm not getting extra elixirs. So 2742. And that's why I was picking items up before, is grabbing them to potentially sell to go ahead and get my defense up. This shrine is probably one of the best placed shrines in the game that I've seen. Its proximity to something important is it's just absolutely good. This one's really good. And like Bloodborne, This game definitely is very big on shortcuts. And they get very big, extremely big shortcuts. In the first mission, you will eventually get a shortcut that drops you down. Did he aggro? Yeah, he aggroed. I was hoping he wouldn't aggro, but oh well. I might actually get enough amrita after him to level up. Trying to bait him into an attack. See, now in Bloodborne, there comes a point in your combo, if charged up enough, that you become uninterruptible. That is not true in this game. You basically can be hit and doinked at any point during any combo. So I did manage to grab an extra elixir there, but I am hurt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pray. And let's see if I don't think I have enough amrita to level up before the boss. So what I'm going to do now is clear stuff again, back to the boss. Once I get towards the boss, I will switch to my boss set to have a little bit of a better chance of fighting the boss. There's no sense in having an amrita bonus set when you're trying to kill a boss. Better to just go in there better equipped. So this is where the second boss is, Lightning Doggy, aka Raichu. So a couple things about the game. You have your 2 weapon slots up here. You have a bow slot with arrows. My bow is actually a white bow because it was considerably better than a yellow bow that I had. You have the hat slot, body, arms, pants, and feet. You have 2 charms, and down here is your multi-use. I call this the stick of butter because when you see the thumbnail of it down there, it just kind of looks like a stick of butter sticking out, and you access it by tapping your touchpad. And you can go to equipment. So I have a fire talisman equipped. Talismans in this game are essentially like paper is in Bloodborne. Bolt paper, fire paper, etc. And I'll show you some of the choices that you can have in your quick slots. Spirit stones give you amrita. I can't imagine why you would ever want to put that on a quick slot. Whetstones and glue and small spirit stones, again, more that I don't think really deserve a quick slot. I think you should absolutely have an elixir. Maybe sacred water. Stones are like pebbles. This is a gunpowder ball. Plan to use it for the boss. This is another type of gunpowder ball. Travel amulets take you back to your nearest shrine. Fire amulets. And all of these are basically drops. These are not what you make with your magic. These are like the real paper in this. Shurikens you make, and then your fire talisman, or any talisman, is what you make also from your magic. If you go to skill customization, this is where you can set some combos. And you can tell the game what you want done. R2, L2 changes the stances. L1, R1 changes the weapon category. So, in a high stance, for my axe, if I do a light swing, heavy swing, I get that whole heaven and earth combo over there. If I hold R1 and circle, I can increase the defensive power by decreasing my speed. If an opponent is out of ki or stamina, you can grapple them and do an almost fatality type move. This game is really cool in the sense that it actually shows you the stamina of your enemies. And they are forced to pause too, just like you are. You always need to manage your stamina to make sure you have enough to get out. Also, similar to many RPGs and MMOs, a back shot is going to do more damage, and that includes on you. So if I'm like comboing this lamp right here, and I'm comboing it, and I'm comboing it, and it dodges behind me, so now that it's like this, if I get hit here, it's going to do a lot of damage. And it's very easy to be sitting here going like this. You combo, combo, and you run out of stamina, and you're bent over puking, and you get stabbed in the back. So you definitely want to make sure that you monitor your stamina properly. Holding down R1 brings up a little button display by the stances. That's how you can switch stances. High stance tends to be more about power. Mid stance tends to be balance, whereas low tends to be very much about defense. And toggling the sheath will get it, take the weapon in or out. So that is the one where it sacrifices speed, and I get defense. And you can see this is a buff that stays on me for a little bit. So I could actually go into this boss battle with this buff on me. If you want to learn a bit more about the game, you go to Amrita Memories, and this is where you can constantly learn about the game. A lot of loot early on has voices that tell you these things. And if you ever, forget something, you can come back and look at it. Like, I had forgotten about my living weapon. I was trying to do square and triangle, so I just came back here and figured it out. Under Learn Skills, a lot of skills have multiple tiers to them. And you will know that by the scroll unraveling and then having another scroll with it. So for this one over here, L2 and R2 is how you toggle it. So if I hit L2, I can see that I've picked up level 1. But if I hit R2, I can spend 2 points out of my 17 to level it a notch, hit R2, and spend 3 out of my 15 to level it again. When you get no more close scrolls, that whole skill is completely done. I find investing points in the increased damage and the decreased stamina usage pretty much the way to go. I happen to really like the axe and hammer set the most. I'm a Hunter's Axe user in Bloodborne, and I've often gotten used to a certain distance in which people will walk into me, and they walk into a spin to win for my Hunter Axe, and I'm trying to emulate that in this game with this combo right here. And that's how I like to do things. Could it be better to use swords because they are faster and less stamina usage? Absolutely. But like I said, one of the best things you can do in this game is get comfortable with a weapon that you are using, and then just get it so that it's really very easy muscle memory. And that's pretty much some basic beginner tips and tricks in this. You probably want to up your screen brightness. A lot of streamers that I've seen doing this during the demo days have had it very dark because they didn't have their brightness up. You get asked about the brightness when you first start playing the game. My recommendation is up it right then and there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on my more defensive set over here instead of my farming set. Still need to watch the weight. Like this one, this is a fantastic mask. I'm getting 40 defense for only 1.4 weight. And it's a huge jump to go to that one. And these brawler hats tend to be extremely heavy. And to be honest, even on a boss fight, it's not worth it for me to be chunky fat. What I like to do is when I'm in my farming set, I lock the defensive set so that I can find it pretty easily. And you should be able to see that here under my arm guard. See, I have this brawler one locked, and that is because this is amrita earned, and it's a defense of 21, but this is a defense of 36. So I'm going to put that on. 73. Don't think I have anything higher here. Foot guard to 42. This one might be worth it. This one doesn't weigh me down too much, but it's only adding 6 onto it. It's not going to help that much. And I have a lightning charm on so that I'm a little bit more resistant to this guy's lightning, because he basically is Pikachu. I have another lightning charm. It's actually higher in defense. I'm losing a little bit of life, but I'm getting a better defense out of this again, and lightning, so I'm going to be using that one, keeping the second one. So there you go. There is some beginner tips and tricks for this. I would highly recommend early on in the first map that you get some spears and get used to them. Their range and damage is pretty good. And then when you can start doing the hammers and axes, it's definitely worth investing in. It looks like I might actually have enough amrita to level, so I'm going to back out over here and go over to the shrine, and apparently I'm going to aggro Demon Douche again. These are not one of the one-shot demons. These are just patrolling ones that will definitely respawn once you kill them. The ones that come from the smoke are the ones that will not respawn once killed. Now, this particular hammer has some fire damage on it. And you'll see that little fire icon on him. If you get caught with fire, roll. Believe it or not, stop, drop, and roll is a thing in this game. It truly is a thing. If you are on fire, roll. It makes the fire go away quicker. I cannot say if there's anything that makes poison go away quicker, but I can definitely say that there are things that make fire go away quicker, and that's a really interesting effect. So now that I have enough to level up, I think I'm just going to go ahead with strength. And when you level up, most categories do give you a little bit of hit points, so you're not forced into constantly deciding, well, do I want to live longer, or do I want to bump up my strength or damage? You do get a decent mix. Also, when fighting sword mobs over here, or the ghosts or the revenants of the dead, one of the best things you can do after summoning it is to go ahead and start backing up slightly with your hand on the block button. A lot of revenants come out swinging super hard on you when they pop out. So the best thing to do is just touch it. As soon as you know it's coming out, back away slowly with your guard up, because a lot of sword revenants will definitely come out swinging really hard at you. So guys, there is my tips and tricks video for beginners in Nioh. Hope you guys liked it, and definitely give a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Have fun, folks.